Hi, we're going to be in Chapter 2 today. We have some sections that we're going to cover for this lecture. We're going to, number one goal or objective is to describe an atom and how the atomic structure affects interactions between atoms. Number two, we're going to compare the ways in which atoms combine to form molecules and compounds. Number three, we're going to describe the crucial role of enzymes in metabolism. Number four, we're going to distinguish between organic and inorganic compounds. Number five, we're going to explain the chemical properties of water that make life possible. And lastly, we're going to describe pH scale and the role of buffers in fluids of the body. What is chemistry? Chemistry is the science that deals with the structure of matter, mass, and fluids. What is an atom? An atom is the smallest stable unit of matter. There are three main subatomic particles. Protons, they have a positive charge and are represented by a plus sign. They're found in the nucleus of the atom and they make up the atomic number. It also is how the atom is given its elemental properties. Secondly are the neutrons. Neutrons have a neutral charge. They're also found in the nucleus of the atom. The protons plus the neutrons make up the atomic mass of the atom. And then the electrons have a negative charge, and they're in the electron cloud that surrounds the nucleus of the atom. There are 13 essential elements in the human body. The three most important elements are hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. Water makes up 65% of the human body, which is the hydrogen and oxygen component. And then carbon makes the additional 18.6%. There are three states of matter that exist. There are solids, liquids, and gases. Solids maintain volume and shape at normal temperatures and pressures. Liquids are fluids with constant volume and no fixed shape. Gases do not have constant volume or shape and can be compressed or expanded to react with other gases. What are chemical reactions? It's a process where chemical bonds are formed between atoms or existing bonds are broken between atoms. What is work? It's the movement or change in physical structure of matter. Work's physics definition is technically force times distance. What is energy? It's the capacity to perform work. Movement or change cannot occur without energy expenditure. There are two types of energy, or main types of energy. Kinetic energy, that's the energy of motion, the energy that is producing work, and then potential energy, which is stored energy, or the possibility of doing future work. Energy is an interesting thing. It can be neither created nor destroyed. So a question would be, can energy be lost? No, it's always in motion. There are types of reactions that we would look into. The three specific types of chemical reactions are a decomposition reaction, and it's a reaction where we have a molecule that breaks into smaller fragments. So a reaction that breaks a molecule into smaller fragments is AB equals A plus B. That's the example, or the digestion of food. We have a whole piece of food, we begin to chew it, that's physical change, and through the use of enzymes, and we're able to break it down into its component parts, and that's a chemical change. Then there's a synthesis reaction. That's a reaction that creates a newer, larger molecules from smaller molecules. So in this example, you would have A plus B, and you're going to get AB. An example would be hydrogen and oxygen, and when you get H2O, we get water. We can also go in the reverse, where we split apart the water and we break it down into hydrogen and oxygen. And The last reaction is called an exchange reaction, a reaction that causes a mixture of molecules that switches places within the reaction. When you have AB plus CD equals AD plus CB. An example of that might be fireworks when we see that type of reaction take place. Can chemical reactions be reversed? Yes. All reactions, or most reactions, can be reversed. However, to have a reaction take place, something is needed. It's called activation energy. So activation energy is the amount of energy needed to start any chemical reaction. Let's begin enzymes. So what are enzymes? Enzymes are proteins that promote a chemical reaction by lowering activation energy. Remember, enzymes can only speed up the reaction, but they cannot determine the end product. What are nutrients? Nutrients are essential elements and molecules normally obtained in one's diet that's required for growth and maintenance. What are metabolites? They're the molecules that are broken down by chemical reactions within our body. What are the two types of metabolites? Well, there's organic compounds, and in organic compounds, the primary structural ingredients include carbon and hydrogen. In inorganic compounds, they do not contain carbon generally and hydrogen together. So carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide is an inorganic compound. Water is an inorganic compound. Instead, they have carbon with oxygen, carbon dioxide, or hydrogen and oxygen, water, are their acids, bases, and salts. Why is water so important? It's the number one component of the human body. It makes up 2/3 of the total body weight, between 60-70% of your body. It's the universal solvent, and it's the way we maintain body temperature through water. It resists change. So water is an awesome inorganic compound that all life needs. Finally, what are electrolytes? They're soluble inorganic molecules whose ions conduct an electrical current in solution. Potassium is 1K, and it prevents muscle cramps. We a lot of times will tell you eat bananas. Sodium and chloride maintains water balance, and that's table salt. And then lastly is pH. What is pH? It's the concentration of hydrogen ions within a solution or body of fluids. What are the three levels of pH solution? Neutral has a pH of 7. It has an equal amount of hydrogen ions. Acidic has a pH below 7. It means it has more hydrogen ions. And basic has a pH above 7, which means it has less hydrogen ions. So an acid is any solute that dissolves and releases hydrogen ions from a solution. A base is a solute that removes hydrogen ions and therefore decreases the pH. And then a buffer is a compound that stabilizes the pH of a solution by removing or replacing hydrogen ions. For example, Alka-Seltzer.